Born on June 8, 1966, Alpo Martinez entered New York City's drug trade at an early age. By just 13 years old, he was already selling drugs in East Harlem. The business proved highly profitable, and despite his youth, Alpo quickly became known for his flashy lifestyle, driving expensive cars and riding high-end street bikes. As his empire grew, so did his reputation for violence. While he often relied on hired hitmen, there were times when he personally participated in killings. One of the most notorious came in 1990, when his former partner and close friend, Rich Porter, was murdered. Alpo believed Rich had cut him out of important drug deals. Years later, Alpo reflected on the killing by saying, "It wasn't personal, it was business." Rich Porter's murder marked the beginning of Alpo's downfall. Less than a year later, he attempted to expand his drug operation into Washington, D.C., but federal authorities arrested him on drug trafficking charges. Facing the possibility of life in prison, prosecutors offered him a deal: cooperate with the government in exchange for a reduced sentence. Alpo accepted. He admitted his role in multiple murders, including arranging 7 killings, and testified against numerous friends and criminal associates. His cooperation helped dismantle major cocaine trafficking operations in Washington, D.C., but it also ensured he would forever be labeled a snitch in the streets. Following his cooperation, Alpo entered the Federal Witness Protection Program under the new identity of Abraham Rodriguez. After serving more than 2 decades in federal prison, including time at ADX Florence in Colorado, Alpo was released in 2015 and relocated to Lewiston, Maine. For a while, it appeared he had truly started over. He worked at Walmart, played basketball with local teenagers, and later launched a construction business. Most of the people around him had no idea they were interacting with one of Harlem's most infamous former drug traffickers. But Alpo struggled to leave his old life behind. Not long after his release, he contacted longtime friend Chus to explain why he had cooperated with federal authorities decades earlier. Before long, he also began returning to Harlem, despite repeated warnings that doing so placed his life in danger. Instead of keeping a low profile, Alpo openly embraced his past. In 2019, he met with filmmaker Troy Reed and stood on camera at the very street corner where Rich Porter had been killed. During the interview, he openly discussed the murder and reflected on the choices that shaped his life. By 2020, Alpo was spending so much time back in Harlem that he was rarely in Maine. Rather than disappearing into anonymity, he appeared determined to reclaim his reputation in the neighborhood where his name had once carried so much weight. That decision would ultimately cost him his life. During the early morning hours of October 31st, 2021, Alpo was driving through Harlem when multiple shots were fired into his Dodge Ram pickup truck. He was struck several times and later died at Harlem Hospital. He was 55 years old. Given his history, many believed his past had finally caught up with him. In 2022, authorities arrested a Harlem man in connection with the shooting, alleging that an argument between the 2 men escalated into the deadly encounter. However, when the case went to trial, the defense challenged the prosecution's evidence and argued that investigators had failed to prove who fired the fatal shots. The jury ultimately agreed, returning a verdict of not guilty. As a result, no one has ever been criminally convicted for the killing of Alpo Martinez. For decades, Alpo Martinez survived one of the deadliest eras in New York's drug trade. He built an empire, betrayed longtime allies to save himself, and spent years living under a new identity. But in the end, the streets he refused to leave behind became the place where his story came to an end. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.